Alright, good afternoon, everybody. If anybody has the S numbers, I'd love to see them. First time I haven't held S into earnings in quite a few quarters. I'm actually happy if it's down. I thought the price was getting a little high for my taste. But I'm not allowed to talk about that until I do the disclosure. So I'm an associate member of T3 Trading Group, which is an SEC registered broker-dealer and member of FINRECIPIC. All of my trades are placed through T3 Trading Group. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your own financial condition. My position disclosure is the same as it was yesterday. All right. I really don't have very much to talk about. So like I said in the chat just before, great day for questions, but I can give a brief overview all the same. The SPYs here are up 0.14% at the end of the day. Qs are up 0.3%. The IWM is relatively weak, is down 0.7%. Really quiet day. I mean, we had some action up until 11, and then it just really got very quiet. The volume today was even lower than the volume yesterday, and yesterday had the lowest volume of the year. So it kind of just shows you where the market's at this point. The market is taking a vacation, and I don't blame the market for taking a vacation. I'm going to take one too. We're also just waiting for NVIDIA. So this is historically the slowest week of the year. It's so weird that such an important company is reporting this week. I read a note somewhere that was talking about the lengthening of earnings season. It seems like earnings season never ends now. Obviously it does, but it goes for much longer than it used to. It seems like it's much more spread out than it used to. Part of that is just because, last week we didn't have anybody that was particularly important report, or not many companies. And then this week, out of nowhere, there's a handful of these laggard companies that are actually pretty important in that report this week. So we got CRM. I think today we have S and Box. They're not huge, but they're companies that are things that we trade. We got Chewy, I think, this week, and then obviously the most important company in the world, NVIDIA, reports this week. So it's really dragged out earnings season, and it's weird to see such an important company reporting on August 28th, typically one of the slowest weeks of the year. But is what it is. So market held in really well today. We discussed this morning that there was some really weird pre-market weakness that came in, where we started downtrending pretty heavily between 8 and 9 a.m., especially if you looked at a pre-market chart of the IWM. It was kind of more or less straight down. But once the market opened, that underlying bid came into the market and helped the market recover. There was pretty much a Mag 7 rally. The Qs ripped up. I mean, Apple was unstoppable higher at a certain point this morning, helped bring the Qs higher. NVIDIA recovered. There was no opening weakness with NVIDIA. Then it put in this big hammer here, which was a buy signal. Then NVIDIA gave some follow through. But the rest of the companies, if you look at the IWM gapped down and stayed weak all day. Very, very tight range. The RSP, very, very tight range, weaker than the SPY. And again, why was the RSP weaker than the SPY is because any rally today really came again from these Mag 7 stocks. You can see it from the Qs. Just a decently impressive red to green move early on in the day before the volume and the action really died out. So on a closing basis, we were able to hold this recent important QQQ support. And overall, this just continues to satisfy any extension that we had in the market through time and price. SPYs here, every day that we go sideways up in this 560 area, that 21 EMA catches up even more. The 80 EMA is already there. The Qs at this point have fully corrected that big extension that we had. And the IWM, which showed relative strength on Friday of last week, is just kind of correcting some of that upside extension that it had. So really nothing to talk about at this point. I mean, I've been saying it for a couple weeks, but it still applies because the move was so big. Time is a bull's friend. The more time we spend just going sideways and digesting up here, the higher the probability from a technical analysis perspective that we break up. Unless an event happens that breaks us down. And there's not too many events on the horizon that can negate the consistent buy flow that is still coming in this week and probably into next week to some degree. But one of those things is the NVIDIA report. So we'll see what happens with NVIDIA tomorrow. I got a feeling that tomorrow's price action will be somewhat similar to today's. Unemployment claims, is that tomorrow? Is it Thursday? I know we've got one, I think that weekly number, one of those days. I forget which day. But outside of that, I don't see very much happening for the market. We probably will continue to be the same. So that is all that I've got, which is very little. I spent most of the day today making sure that I wasn't over trading a boring market, and that's the update. So if anybody has any questions, post them now or forever hold your peace, whatever that means. If anybody's got the S numbers, I'd like to see them. Otherwise, I can just look them up myself after the meeting. We're a big selling Reddit into the close. Oh yeah, they hit that Reddit down. I no longer have a position in that right now. Thank you, Bill. Sentinel 1 second quarter rev is a small beat. A little over $1 million. Second quarter adjusted EPS is 1 cent versus an estimated loss of 38 cents. That's a great beat. Second quarter annual recurring revenue is a beat, and their guidance is a beat. Is it back up? Yeah, it's back up. They hit it. They hit it down real quick, and now it's back up. They were expecting a 38-cent loss, and they came in at positive 1 penny. That's a really good looking number. So they hit Sentinel 1 down. Now it's back up to where it started. It's been a really big move in this Sentinel 1 into this report. I trade the stock a lot, and I feel like it's kind of expensive when it starts to get to these mid-upper 20s. So I'm not surprised to see that it's not reacting great on what looks like a pretty good report on the surface of things. So, but we'll see how that digests out over time. We got the GDP. It's a revision number, right? Tomorrow. So we got GDP 830, and the initial jobless claims at 830 tomorrow. Yeah, so maybe that could move the market a little bit. But otherwise, it's pretty quiet. From Uvixi Bull in the YouTube, I've recently switched from 5-minute charts to 15-minute charts, and it's been overall positive since the setups tend to be more set and forget. I like that. I like that. Anything to know about higher time frames compared to the 5-minute in general? I mean, I do think that you should look at your 15-minute chart in conjunction with your 5-minute chart in the beginning of the day. But otherwise, I like it. I like those little bit of bigger time frames for execution. You're not competing with the HFT robots like you might be on like a 1 or 2 minute chart, and it gives your trades, I think, more opportunity to really properly play out, where you can trade more for winning and losing as opposed to just hyper scalping a 1 minute chart and trying to make money. So that's definitely a thought process that I like. So appreciate the information there, Uvixi Bull. I don't have anything else to add. Anybody else? Yeah, I'm happy to do a super quick one today. I gotta catch a train back into the city. I gotta start doing some packing. I'm always a last minute packer, so I don't mind doing an early one, but I also have more than enough time to sit here and answer questions if anybody has them. But given that I wrote into the VTF even before the meeting started that you guys should come with questions and that no one's posting anything, it looks like we're probably gonna wrap things up. So I will. If you're watching on YouTube, give me the thumbs up. If you're in the VTF, love having you. I'll see you tomorrow.